Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Christina and I'm a Senior Research Associate at the University of Portsmouth. I'm currently working on a project, Competitive Angling as a Scientific Tool. So the aim of the project is to use data from an angling competition to study data-deficient fish species in the Solent, with the aim of contributing to sustainable fisheries management. So the reason I'm talking now is to talk about how this relates to citizen science. So lots of fish stocks around the UK are considered to be data deficient, which hinders their management and hinders the ability to develop sustainable fishery management plans. Collecting fisheries data requires significant investment of time and money, but actually there's already hundreds of thousands of people collecting relevant data, and that's recreational anglers. So the data contributed by recreational anglers is exactly what we need to study lots of different fish stocks. So a great example of citizen science is the Sea Angling Classic competition. This is a 2-day sea angling competition held in the Solent. So the competition targets 5 different species, one of which is European sea bass, which is why I'm here to talk about it, but also targets black bream, skates and rays, smoothhound, and tope. And these species were chosen by the competition organizer for the thrill of catching them, their abundance within the competition area in June when the competition is, and also for the likelihood of survival following catch and release. So the competition is strictly catch, photograph, release, so none of the fish are retained during the competition. So the winners of the competition are the team with the longest combined length across their top 6 of each of the target species. And it's a very competitive event with the winning team getting a boat worth over £100,000. So because of this, there are lots of steps to ensure that anglers are following the rules and also to ensure that catches are validated properly. And that means that all the data collected is then relevant for us because it's been validated. So in the competition, all the anglers have to submit georeferenced photos of each fish on a measuring board in order for the fish to be counted. We can then use these photos to verify the species, the size, the catch location, and also to look for potential injury, diseases, and parasites. If anyone works on diseases or parasites in bass or any of our other target species, then it'd be really helpful to have a chat about that at some point. As well as those photos that we're getting from the anglers that they're taking anyway as part of the competition, we've introduced a couple of other data collection methods. So one of those is putting GPS trackers on all the fishing boats. So this allows me to see which areas they've been fishing in and how long they've been spending fishing there. And the benefit of the trackers is that I can not only see the areas where they've successfully caught fish, but also areas where they might have spent an hour or more fishing and not actually caught anything. So I'm able to look and see whether the boats are fishing at anchor when they're stationary, or also if they're drift fishing as well. And then this summer we introduced GoPro cameras on all the fishing boats. So the aim of this is to look at exactly how long the anglers are spending fishing. So I suspect that what I've estimated from the GPS tracks are generally overestimates because there's time at the start when potentially they're sorting the anchor out, getting anchored, or when they're sorting the rods out. So what I want to do is get accurate timings of fishing duration from the GoPros to then work out whether there's some kind of adjustment to make to the GPS trackers so that future angling competitions could then only use the trackers and not have to invest in the GoPro cameras. So what can we do with the data? So the first thing I've started looking at is catch per unit effort. So this is the number of fish caught in a given time, and I'm looking at fish caught per fishing rod per hour. So we can potentially use this as a proxy for fish abundance, although there's lots of other issues around that, but it's at least the first estimate from based on the fishing data of which areas might have higher catch and which areas have got lower catch. And later on this summer, we're planning to then target some of these high and low catch per unit effort sites to go and do some habitat mapping and also some eDNA work to look at potential prey availability. So we can then start to look at what might be driving these differences in the high and low catch per unit effort. So far, we've only got a few years worth of data from the competition, but the idea is that the data collection method will continue each year, so we'll eventually build up a really long-term data set so that we can start to look at long-term trends in populations. So from the 3 years worth of data I've plotted so far, we can see that the average length of tope has increased over the 3 years, but this could potentially be an artifact of angler experience. So I wonder whether as the competition has grown in popularity, we've then got more experienced anglers joining that potentially know the spots with the longest fish. So this is why it's really important to not use just very short-term data sets, but to hopefully build up 10 or even 20-year data set to be able to look at changes in abundance, average length, and also maximum length over time. Another big part of our project is working on artificial intelligence. So we've got a software engineer designing models. The main idea is to design a model that can identify and also measure the fish from photos. So this would reduce the need for us to go through quality checking all the images. So one thing that AI struggles with at the moment is identifying the fish when it has obstructions on it, like the angler's hands holding the fish down. So as humans, we find it easy to ignore the hands and work out what species it is, but the computer model finds that difficult. So we're designing another model that can identify the obstructions, which is what we've got on here. So it's identified the hands and also the ID sticker, which sometimes people stick right on top of the fish. So it can identify those, remove them from the image, and then it can infill the colors in the places where those bits have been taken out, and then feed into the other model to identify and measure it. The model is also being designed so that we can do it without a measuring board in the background. So eventually people can take a picture of their fish anywhere and the model should be able to give us an accurate length measurement for it. So in the competition, we get lots of pictures of bream, rays, smoothhound, and tope. But one thing that we're missing is bass pictures because not everyone targets bass in the competition. So this is when we reached out to the Bass Society, and we've now got over 200 images submitted by bass anglers, which is massively helping the model because the more images we can feed in, the better the model will learn, and then the more accurate it will become at species ID and length measurement. So if anyone else has pictures to share, that would be really helpful. So just a quick thank you to all the CAST project team. So we've got Ian and Gordon, who are the project leads. Abina is our software engineer working on the AI models. And then we've got Georgie and Nelly working with me on all aspects of the biology and ecology work. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I haven't held up the lunch too much.